what a game we have got in store for us right now. A real mental battle, I think, more than anything. Dpeixoto coming off the back of a pretty comprehensible sort of loss against Houston, but in the back of his mind, he knows that 2 weeks ago, he beat Oliboli 5-4 in the qualifier. Which way do you see it going?
I think it's a tough one to call. I think both players will be looking to build on from their previous performances. For Oliboli, he want to continue winning. And for Diogo, he'd want to bounce back from that loss. But it'd be interesting to see, as you said, there's a lot that will go into it on the mental aspect of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And also in this event, there's a very specific squad rules that you have to follow. We're going to have a quick look at those squad rules right now to see what goes into making these squads. These are the rules. You're allowed up to one icon with an overall rating 89 or higher, up to one icon with an overall rating of up to 88, up to two non-icon players with an overall rating of 90 or higher, up to two non-icon players with an overall rating of 87 to 89. All other players must have an overall rating of 86 or below. So you've got to sort of be quite peculiar with the players that you are selecting. Goalkeepers have no restrictions and does not count towards these limits. That's why we've seen Petr Cech and Van der Sar used. This applies to both your starting 11 and substitutions. If you do not have two icons or two players rated 90 plus, you may substitute a player from a lower category. This means you can use an extra non-icon player over 90 instead of an icon up to 88. So there's quite a lot of sort of picking and choosing, chopping and changing that you need to do in your squads, Ryan. And we get to look at Oliboli's team right here. Talk me through it.
Fantastic squad. It's, as I mentioned before, it's probably the squad where all the players are like the go-to players. You've got him from CR7. He's got the Bruno Fernandes. He's got fortunate with his red picks, as you can see with Rashford, Gomez, and Bruno Fernandes. Arnhem Ronaldo goes without saying how important he is in a team, alongside Vieira as well, Neymar. It's a fantastic team all round.
We also get to look at Dpeixoto's team as well on the other side of that. A slightly different squad for Diogo, Ryan.
I sort of prefer this team in a weird way just because of the one icon in Hullet. I feel like Hullet is so important. There's no one that can do what he does, and I feel like he's vital in the midfield, alongside Kante as well, who can do the defensive job around him, and Saint-Maximin as well, who we've seen Gorilla use yesterday, and a few other players that tend to go back to him. And that's where I see mainly the variety in that extra attacker. Is it Rashford? Is it going to be Joao Felix? Is it Saint-Maximin? There's a whole lot of choices there. And
you would probably say the two best CDM duo in Inform Kante and also Ruud Hullet, sort of patrolling that area either in a 4-4-2 or in a 4-2-3-1. Those two are really the go-to central midfielders. Question for you, Ryan. We're in the midst of the freeze promo right now. We've had loads of different FUT items released in FIFA 21. You see a player come out. What are you looking for in a CDM or a centre mid? Is there a particular stat or a couple of stats that you're looking for that you think he's the one?
For me, I use Vieira. I mean, not Vieira, sorry. I use Ruud Hullet. So I'd want someone next to him that can do sort of a defensive job and can just be the cleanup guy. Like Kante does a job, Renato Sanchez as well. Despite not having amazing defensive stats, he's got the pace. So obviously pace is very important in all aspects of the field. Literally every position, I look for someone with pace. And in midfield, I look for stamina. It's very important, having a box-to-box midfielder. And again, you would love to have two Hullets in the midfield. If that was possible, I'd love that. But it's not, and I say the next best thing is just looking for somebody that can offer, I guess, just a box-to-box role, or a box-to-box role but have higher defending than the likes of Bruno Fernandes.
Well, the winners bracket final is among us right now. I should say the losers bracket final, in fact. Winner of this will be playing Houston in the grand final. Oliboli kicking from left to right, part of Team Makers, and it's going to be Dpeixoto from Team BDS from right to left in the Portugal strip. Very interesting so far, you would say. Well, we've only seen Diogo play one match. He lost 3-0. Not too much to really take away from that game. Oliboli, on the other hand, we've seen probably more FIFA from him in this tournament than anybody else. He went to penalties against Cosimo, and then also that match there against Adriman. Very intriguing to see.
Yeah, I feel like it's...
Go on.
Almost a chance there, sorry. I feel like it's unfair for Diogo for us to judge that his ability based on that performance against Houston. Houston played a flawless game, in all honesty, both defensively and offensively. And for Diogo, he'll be hoping to bounce back from that. He knows how good he is. He mentioned in the preview how good he is defensively. Despite in that performance against Houston, he conceded 3 goals. But that's not to say conceding 3 goals against Houston is honestly not even a bad thing, because the thing is he always prospers with his attack rather than defense. It's just that he was lacking that offensive threat. He was kind of predictable, and he knows that he'll have to step it up against Oliboli.
Absolutely, yeah. Just as I was saying, we've seen more FIFA from Oliboli than any other competitor, and one thing that I'm really going to take away from those performances that we've seen from him so far, he seems to be a second leg player. All of his sort of wins where he's winning the matches is coming in the second leg. He's peaking towards the end of the game. Do you read too much into that? Is he taking the sort of information in the first leg and reacting then in the second leg? Chance here for Dpeixoto, slowly coming in. Hullet with a couple of step overs there on the edge of the box into CR7 now. Good defending from Oliboli to clear his lines.
Yeah, just following on from what you said, I feel like he mentioned as well, like there's obviously connection issues because players are playing from the comforts of their own home, so no connection is going to be perfect as it would be at a LAN event. So he sort of uses the first leg to get used to it, and it almost led to a chance there. But there's also that you have to take into account. There's so many factors when playing against somebody, especially if you've played them before. And you just don't want to give the game away too early, where he says he knows, well, they don't know each other completely, like obviously they don't play on a day-to-day basis, but when you've played somebody on a consistent basis at high-level competitions, you sort of have a gauge of what they're going to do in certain moments, and you don't want to fall into any traps to give them an easy advantage.
Absolutely, yeah. A chance here for Diogo down this left-hand side, just running out of play there with his attacker. 22 minutes gone so far, nothing to shout about as of yet in this losers bracket final. Ball out wide, sprayed from CR7. Maybe not the best of passers, but does play out wide to Neymar. Back inside to Patrick Vieira now. Marcus Rashford looking to turn. Just goes backwards into Vieira, and now slowly starting to build up through the thirds is Oliboli, but a good interception from Nelson Semedo.
Very good interception. I feel like this game is going to be very nervy from both of these players, where they know there's a lot on the line. They've both accomplished top 3 at least in this event, and you get a lot of prize money for it. You get points, which is valuable to try and reach the playoffs this year, because on PlayStation there's no divine right that you're going to reach another event. With so many competitors who even miss out on this event, we've got the world champion Moaba not even here. There's so many top players who will find it difficult to reach events consistently. You have to remember, it's the top 6 amongst at 1,024, and it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. The instinctive nature from Oliboli right there. As soon as he got into that scenario, he knew that the bridge touch was the next move. Almost chess-like. You could see the maneuvers happening before his very eyes. He was 2 steps ahead. He knew when he gets into that position, the next thing he has to do is the bridge touch. And a great finish from R9.
He's mastered the bridge touch, I'll be honest. Both Oliboli and also Olilito, both Swedish players with the name Oli, have both mastered the bridge, in my opinion, when I've seen them play. And it's an extremely difficult skill move to defend, especially on the angle, as I always mention, when you've got the likes of R9, you can just push it past the defender when they're flat-footed. They sort of like freeze. And it's near enough impossible for them to backtrack unless you sort of predict it, or you've got someone that has good acceleration like Kyle Walker. And it gives him the lead against Diogo in this game. Yeah,
absolutely. Just a real work of art there with that bridge touch. It sort of, when you see that Oliboli and both Olilito have mastered that, you now start to put the pieces together, and the puzzle starts forming that they're sparring partners and play a lot against each other in Sweden. But Diogo looking to get his first goal on the board here in this EU qualifier. Top 3 finish guaranteed for him. Cristiano Ronaldo looking to get the seconds off the Neymar shot, but just ricocheting into the body of Oliboli's defenders. Quite a high line from Diogo, from what I'm seeing so far, Ryan.
Very high line, and I like that, because it shows that he's trying to press up the pitch, trying to retrieve trying to retrieve the ball as soon as he loses it. And I know there's a lot of pros do that as well. I know Shells plays with 10 depth as well, and it's a thing where it sort of suits people. it's like having press on possession loss, but not having it on at the same time.
Yes.
So you could have a high line, and then you can flick on team press, you can squeeze them high up the pitch and force your opponent into making a mistake. And when he does, your attackers are literally right there on the edge of the box or in the box to capitalize on it.
Yeah, it's quite a risky way of playing, but if you get to master it, I'll say, and you get to really get comfortable with playing with your defence high up the pitch and team press constantly being flicked on and off, it's a very, I'd even say, OP way of playing, because you get suffocated when you're trying to play out of that. You can't find passes, you can't find passing lanes to play out of, and at the end of the day, you just end up hitting it long, the ball comes straight back at you.
Yeah, exactly. This year, as I say, there's a lot of variation with tactics. I don't think there's one exact way to play. Like I think last year there was a specific way to play. We just kind of soak up the pressure and hope to get a counter-attack or something favourable that works for you. But this year, as I mentioned, there's people that play with 10 depth, there's people that play with 1 depth, there's people that play with standard tactics or press on possession loss, press on heavy touch. And I sort of like that. It's not as varied as I'd like. I sort of like it where there's a lot more options, but I still can't complain because it's a lot more than last year, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Diogo looking to get back in this game. Certainly got the talent on the pitch, and we know that he is a very talented FIFA player himself. He's not in the top 3 in Europe for nothing. Kante now playing back to Ruud Gullit, looking to create something with Cristiano Ronaldo now. Couple of step overs. Elastico inside the box, just running into the brick wall that is Rafa Varane.
That was great defending. Great attacking as well, to be fair. He done well. He bided his time. He tried to wait for a perfect opportunity to get a shot off. But the defending there was very, very impressive, to be honest. And again, you can see that these opponents, they know each other, whether it's playing against each other or being able to study the thing. That's the thing now with the regional events, where you've got 2 weeks. If you make it into the top 6, you've got 2 weeks to sort of analyze your opponents who are going to make it or who have also qualified as well. So that's sort of favourable in one sense.
Just coming up on 57 minutes gone in this tie so far. Patrick Vieira now moving forward with the ball for Oliboli. I wouldn't say in cruise control, but he's certainly in a favourable position right now, and that gets sprung over the top from Patrick Vieira, looking to get Marcus Rashford in behind. Just in the end, runs out of play. Great pressure from Phil and Mendy back there. Short goal kick played out from Diogo, and looking to spring that ball over the top yet again. Through balls are a real important way of getting from defence into attack very quickly this year, Ryan. I'll get your opinion on where and when to use through balls just after this attack is over. Into Neymar on the edge of the box, looking to turn, looking to twist, but Joe Gomez wins it back. So talk to me about through balls. When do I want to be hitting the through ball, or when do I want to be trying to keep possession?
You sort of, for me anyway, you trigger the through ball instantly for attackers. You don't necessarily have to play the ball. You can use it as a decoy run, so your opponent switches cursor and starts running away to try and block the through ball, which allows you to have space because no one's pressing you, so you can sort of transition that way. Or if the opponent doesn't change, you can just spray the ball forward. You sort of Houston, he's, as I say, mastered it. If anything, he's one of the very few players who I've seen. You could even be tracking the run, but he knows the perfect time to play the through ball, and this is a chance here, and it's a goal here for Oliboli. That's a fantastic work goal. R9 Ronaldo, who else?
What move, what a move from R9 Ronaldo. Just that turn of pace, as soon as he gets past you, is a little bit clunky, R9. We all say it when the ball's at his feet, but when the ball's in front of him, when he's running onto it, he's got the body strength, he's got the body type. He is so hard to get off of it. And I tell you what, in that position, on the angle, is the more of a reliable striker than R9 Ronaldo?
I don't think so. He's so powerful, as you said, when he's in full stride. He can power the shot into the corner. And as you said, the most lethal striker, I have to be honest. I love CR7, but R9 is so reliable in front of goal on either foot, which sort of sets him ahead. But it's just about getting him into those moments. And those moments are few and far between in competitive games. You don't always get that chance because a lot of players, they would rather allow you to have another opportunity with the likes of Mbappe and Neymar. Despite how good they are, they'd rather give that up than allow R9 Ronaldo a shot on either foot. But he done well there to open up the space with the skill moves, with everything, with the movement, the dribbling, to give him the 2-goal advantage. And
that right there is why R9's in the squad as well, because He might get 1 or 2 opportunities in a game, but those opportunities, that's what you pay the coins for. That's what you save up for. He's the big premium purchase, because when he gets the opportunity in the final third, you can back him, you can rely on him, you can give him the ball in a tight area. He'll be able to do something fantastic, and just the composure and the consistency of scoring goals is like nobody else. Speaking of him, on the ball here, playing into Bruno Fernandes, who's been a very strong player in the squad so far. That's a fantastic elastico inside the box from Cristiano Ronaldo. Oliboli is starting to turn on the flare right now.
Starting to turn on the flare, definitely. It was a fantastically worked chance there. Very good defending, though, to I guess, recover from the mistake he made of pulling out a defender. And we also spoke about, I want to touch on with Mike Lebel, he mentioned Davies as well being used, and it's interesting to see Oliboli using him left midfield. He's so versatile, he can play anywhere. Mike also mentioned how some people sub him on in the center of defense, left back, right back. I sub him on personally in centre mid. He's so fast, he can cut the lanes manually extremely quickly compared to Renato Sanchez, even though he's quick. But I think it's 98 pace on his road to the final card is crazy, and there's a chance here.
Ronaldo again putting Walker on his bum. Davies now inside the box, looking for him to turn. Not really you want to shoot with Alphonso Davies. I thought there was an opportunity to shoot there with Ronaldo across the keeper for a second.
Yeah, so did I.
Diogo needs to get firing in the attacking third. If there's anywhere where you sort of pointing the finger and saying that's where he might have lacked a little bit, it is in the attacking third, in creating chances, in creating clear-cut chances. This could be one of those right now, but Rafa Varane stepping out of the back four yet again, as he always seems to do. I would probably say the most capped player in competitive teams is Rafa Varane. R9 Ronaldo looking to play into CR7, but just as I say it, who is there? Rafa Varane.
Rafa Varane, the man. But I thought that was a chance there. I felt like that was about to be 3-0, but this is in a moment like this, Diogo has possession of the ball. I say he just has to go for it now. It's the last kick of the game pretty much. If he gives away possession, I doubt he'd concede from it. But he just has to try and just push a few more players forward and hope he can get that last kick of the game, which will result in a goal.
This could be it right now. Neymar on the edge of the box, twisting, turning, getting a little bit of space is the Brazilian. Vieira comes across, looking for the back post, and it's just skimmed across the grass. And that will do Oliboli for the first leg. Good opportunity there for Diogo at the end of that sort of 90-minute spell. Whipped across into the back post area, but just couldn't get anything on it, Ryan.
No, it was unfortunate. It was well worked. I think he could have shot there with Neymar at an angle, but to be honest, I don't think he expected to have that free space.
Absolutely, and I think it's also very important, while we've got a little bit of time right now, to tell you, EA believes it's more important than ever to do what you can to take care of your mental health. Here are some resources we are providing to our competitive players. For all, and I think in times like these, it's important that we all come together and help each other. We look forward to building a healthy and positive community together, all as one. Welcome back to the FIFA 21 EU qualifier. We're deep in the PlayStation 4 bracket. We're in the losers bracket final. You join us for the second leg. Myself, Richard Buckley, and Ryan Pessoa guiding you through the trials and tribulations of these final matches. Ryan, Diogo Dpeixoto has got a lot to do. He's yet to register a goal in this tournament. What's got to change in this second leg?
I say he just has to be a bit more free-flowing going forward. I think he's a little bit too afraid to do the risky passes, and he's sort of doing a bit too much, which can happen when you play somebody so frequently. You sort of you get caught in two minds. Do you do the same thing that was working, or you think to yourself, oh, maybe they've read that, so they're going to expect something different. So you try something different, but then you just confuse yourself. That's one negative, as I say, from playing someone so consistently or so frequently. So he just has to play his own game and just hope it works out.
Well, here we go. It is going to be Diogo getting us underway here, kicking from left to right in the red strip, red top, green shorts. Quite a Christmas vibe coming out from Diogo. It's going to be Oliboli from right to left, and I believe in the Argentina kit. He's leading 2-0 after the first leg. Just throwing it back a little bit. In the qualifier, these two matched, and Diogo won 5-4. So he'll be looking for a similar performance in this second leg, but it's certainly been in the attacking third where he's faced sort of his setbacks, Diogo. Would you say that's a fair statement, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. It goes without saying, because he's yet to register a goal, which is, it's unlike him. We saw, as you mentioned, he beat Oliboli 5-4 in the qualifier to even get here. So again, he's definitely will be disappointed with it, but in those situations it's really hard, because it's too critical to say that he's doing something wrong. It's kind of a thing, his opponents are doing well to sort of nullify his attacks, but then again, he's not doing anything spectacular to try and break them down. It's sort of just standard routine ways of trying to execute a shot at goal, but they're just not working out at all for him.
Oliboli looking to get that third goal, which could be huge for him. 3-goal cushion going into a second leg. It's really sort of a safe scoreline, you would say. Vieira, got a bit of dribbling, just waiting for a space to open up, but he has given away possession, and Diogo could counter quickly here. Does slow down the play and go for the more methodical approach here. Hullet dispossessed by Vieira. You're playing a game of FIFA right now, Ryan. You're trailing 2-0. I'll get your opinion on my question, just as that attack has been fizzled out. How important is it to, you know that time's ticking down, you know that the clock's ticking, to keep on doing what you think is the best option, not to rush? Neymar, rainbow flick inside the box.
Oh,
comes to nothing in the end. But how important is it?
It's extremely important. Now, we've got still a long way to go, 70 minutes and potentially more without a time. So he's only down by 2, right? And 2 goals is never safe in FIFA and in any sort of game of football. So you don't want to sort of, I guess, push too many players forward. And the same Oliboli doesn't want to rest on his laurels and sit back and think it's game over. He can just try and keep the ball, because that's when you fall into the trap of allowing your opponent to press you high up the pitch, which is the last thing you want to do. And sometimes attack can be the best form of defense. And in this situation, we know that Diogo sooner or later has to push a few more players forward and commit a few more players, be a bit more, I guess, take a few more risks. When he sees a pass opening up, he doesn't necessarily take it all the time like a through ball down the line. He's sort of waiting and hoping that something else will open up, like a clear-cut opportunity, and he's not getting any success so far doing that, those routes at goal.
Yeah, just want to point out Patrick Vieira. We all know he's one of the best icons on the game, but he's been an absolute man on a mission in that midfield for Oliboli. It seems like everything that comes near him is winning. He's intercepting passing lanes. This is an opportunity. Neymar looking to turn, just gets crowded out in the end by Vieira and Kyle Walker. That clearance does find its way back to Oliboli, and expect a ball down the line. There you see it, Marcus Rashford. Plenty of space in front, maybe a bridge touch in the locker as well. There you see it. Cutting back inside now, Rashford looking to turn, but again running into a set of red shirts. The next goal in this game is everything, in my personal opinion, Ryan.
So important. Next goal will determine the tide of the game. Whether if Oliboli scores it, it's pretty much over, just because of the way the game's going so far. But if Diogo scores it, it's game on, and he'll get that boost of confidence, because sometimes when you go into a tournament, and especially because despite him reaching here, playing so many rounds in a row without losing, this is technically the first or his second opponent of the day, and you've gone in thinking, all right, the worst comes to worst, he loses, he gets smashed, but he's not playing amazing, and he's also not playing terrible. That was very fortunate. If that was a goal there, that would have been such a fortunate goal for Oliboli. But he's probably a bit nervous of going out without scoring a goal, and he just needs to put that out of his head and just play his normal game and just not be fearful of anything.
Well, it's one of those as well. How often do we see it? People going 7-0, 5-0 in Swiss on day one, coming in, first knockout round of day two, eliminated from the tournament. It's a pretty frequent thing that we used to seeing, or that we were used to seeing in LAN events. I remember numerous players going 5-0 on day one, and in the first knockout round of day two, they get eliminated in the round of 16 or the round of 32.
Yep, and it's a thing where you wish the day could have continued a little bit longer, but it also works both ways, right? You could have scraped through at 3-2, and you're hoping that the day ends, and the day does end. You go in the next day, and then you could potentially win the whole tournament. You go on a boost, but I'm not really sure why that happens. Like it could be a mentality thing based on complacency, or maybe you're just on that day you're literally playing flawless FIFA.
I mean, look, we've all been there.
Off, of course, you have your days. Everyone has their day where they feel unbeatable, and then when that day is over, you go into the next day, you start off a bit slow, and in a tournament it's really hard, right? Which a lot of people, if they don't compete, right, when you do play, it's so hard to mimic the environment that you play in. You can play so many practice tournaments, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's so hard to get something that sort of imitates these sort of regional qualifiers or regional events. It's near enough impossible, so it's hard to get that actual 100% practice without playing it.
That is a fantastic double tap pass into R9. It seemed like it came out of nowhere, caught us off guard. 45th minute, that would have been, in my opinion, game, set and match right there. Diogo lives to fight another day, and he's got 45 minutes to change the script here, because it's reading at the minute. I've just flicked to the last page, chapter 7, and it reads Houston versus Oliboli grand final.
Yeah, that pass did catch us off guard. That was a very intelligent pass. I thought we passed it. It was a tiny bit wayward for a shot at goal. Like, I didn't think, if it did go in, it would have been like, oh wow, that actually went in. But to be fair, it was, with R9 Ronaldo, you could just take those sort of shots where the angle isn't perfect and it could go in, and it was very unfortunate that did hit the post. But for Diogo, again, I say from the 60th minute, if he's down by 2, there has to be a formation change where, whether it's you increase your tactics, I wouldn't go constant pressure yet, or from the 60th, maybe from the 75th, but maybe press on possession loss, sort of a few more players in the box, increase your width as well and your depth. But he has to change something.
Well, you've got nothing to lose. Like, if you go out right now and you stay as you are, you lose 2-0, you're still taking a third place finish. Oliboli looks to have brought the offside trap. R9 Ronaldo in on goal, goes near post, he's brought him down. Has the referee gave a penalty?
Oh
no.
I thought that was a pen, I'll be honest. I thought the chance there, he could have pulled the trigger just a little bit earlier. It's the goalkeeper movement, which I noticed from Diogo as well against Houston. He's actually very, very good at moving the goalkeeper and sort of forcing his opponent to become flustered in that situation. And he's done it again there, where I thought that was 100% going to be 3.
This could be a chance up the other end, just a pass. Forcing a grimace out of Diogo. He knows that was a good opportunity. Just even something as small as Oliboli missing that big opportunity to go 3-0 up. That could be the mental switch for Diogo in this game to get back into it, to give him that little boost of confidence that goes, you know what, I'm still in this game. I'm still in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't necessarily have to just... Many people, if you play even weekend league, where you play a game, I'm playing a game this weekend, you're down by 2 and you're thinking it's just not your day, you're hitting the post a lot, but then your opponent has a clear-cut opportunity and the game he just doesn't score, but whether it hits the post or he messes up, and then you sort of sit up and think, okay, there's still quite a long way to go in this game. You never know. He's just missed a chance. He might be low on confidence, thinking maybe I'm gonna come back into the game, so I might as well take advantage of that and just try and push forward and get a goal.
Oliboli looks to extend his lead here. Ball played back into Bruno Fernandes. These are dangerous spaces on FIFA 21. You might be like, Richard, what are you talking about? But literally, from that position, you can play one through ball. You can lose the ball and get counter-attacked on, or you can play one through ball and you're literally in on goal. It's not something we've had in previous FIFAs, where you can play one killer pass and you're literally in straight away. So you've always got to be on the tips of your toes.
It's good, but it's sort of... It's a good thing to have, because it fights against the people that always sit back. So there's a way to get in behind on there very easily. You can just transition with one pass, but then it's sort of so hard to defend, because you don't know, do you switch cursor and try and block the run, or do you try and press it, or do you try and flick between and try and do both and try and hope that your player switching is is 100% accurate for that game. It's very difficult to defend, but again, some people have mastered it. As I mentioned, Houston, I think probably the best I've seen with it so far, with the through balls and just playing it and executing it to perfection.
Diogo there, queuing a pause. 65 minutes gone in this second leg. Rude Hully over it, now into Alan St. Maximin. Needs a little bit of magic from the man from Newcastle, looking to drive with Neymar, but runs into combination of Kyle Walker and Joe Gomez at the back there. And talking about those through balls, that was hopeful, trying to hit Neymar, but it will go out of play. Oliboli looking to make changes as well.
What do you think about queuing pauses, right? I said this before. For me personally, I never queue a pause, especially in a game like this when I'm losing. Just because if I'm on the other end of it, where I'm winning 2-0 and my opponent queues it and I've got possession, I'm keeping the ball. I want to try and frustrate you so much because I know you're already frustrated and you're going to end up doing something rash. So I'm going to keep it, wait for you to pull out a defender, then I could potentially score. That's just the reasoning for me. I never queue a pause unless the ball's out of play.
Yeah, look, I'm very much the same. I had a conversation with Nightwatch about 2 years ago, and he said if I see that you've queued a pause, I know something's not happy in your head. I know that you're not happy with how the game's going, and if I can use that to my advantage, I'm going to do as much as possible to keep hold of the ball and not allow it to go out of play. So very much on the
exactly. 100%.
Same page there. Chance here for Diogo. The substitutions have arrived. Mbappe on the pitch. Looking to twist and turn. Back into Mbappe. But again, the pass just overhit.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times. Maybe 3, 4, 5 times that's happened for him. And like I say, I don't know whether it's he's just playing the wrong pass or the wrong amount of power to try and get into those areas in the box to try and get a chance. But it's just not been his day so far. But there's still 15 minutes to go, 2 goals. It's definitely possible.
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen bigger shocks in FIFA eSports competitive matches. Ronaldo on the edge of the box, looking to turn. Played into Carrasco, one of the fresh pair of legs to be entered onto the pitch here for Diogo. Plenty of players forward as well for the man from Portugal. That through ball looks hopeful down the line, but if anyone's going to get onto it, it would be Alphonso Davies coming on for Oliboli. Who's your substitutions of choice, Ryan? Do you have a select amount? Hold on a second. That through ball looks like he could be in. Ronaldo breaking away from Varane. Joe Gomez steps out.
Joe Gomez, that was a massive, massive challenge. But in terms of substitutions, I always make the same sub, pretty much around the same time. I take off my Renato Sanchez for the road to the final Davies in midfield. I also I have Joao Felix in right midfield in a 4-4-2. I take him off for the Lozano 85. And depending on stamina or like the situation of the game, I'll also take off Semedo for a Atao. And yeah, other than that, it's very unlikely that I'll take off Mbappe or Neymar because I don't think there's anyone that I could sub on that's 86 or below that could have the same impact that they do.
Absolutely, yeah. Until we get sort of maybe some new freeze foot items that are going to rival those players. Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe are all safe. Speaking of Ronaldo, what a save from Alisson. Corner whipped in straight into the box. Varane's up for it. Looks like it could be another corner here for Diogo. Has to score right now to send us into a grandstand finish here. Losers bracket final. Winner plays Houston. Hull it on the edge. Ball's ricocheting about and it goes to a white shirt. And that will, more than likely, signal the end of this game as Ronaldo bursts away through the gap. Seemingly no one in sight, but that shows the maturity of Oliboli right there.
Very mature, and that was the chance for Diogo. It was a chance, the chance he's been waiting for, the perfect opportunity to get a goal. It would have been on the 85th minute. There was at least 5 minutes to go, so that would have been a perfect chance for him to perhaps even get another, but it wasn't meant to be. And as you mentioned, Oliboli, very calm, very composed, very professional to take it to resort to game management because, as he said, he doesn't need to score. He's winning 2-0. This game he hasn't conceded. Why would you push forward in the hopes to score another and you could potentially give the ball away? Just has to be calm, composed, keep it. And that will send him through into the grand final against Houston.
Oliboli started the day seemingly a little bit shaky, having to go to penalties against Cosimo, but he's ended the day in fantastic fashion. Looks like he's peaking at the right time. Wins a penalty here, which he can finish with Ronaldo Nazario. Tell me, he's putting Alphonso Davies on it. Alphonso Davies over the penalty. Which way's he going to go? Goes to the right, slots it in.
Oh my goodness.
And that'll be a 3-0 victory. As I said, started the day with a penalty shootout. Literally 6-5 on penalties. Since then, beating young star Adriman 5-2. And you see, smiles all round for the Swede. 3-0 victory against Diogo Peixoto.